Hey guys, my name is Vaskretis, and this is Art of Tricking Episode 2. So, originally today I was going to do a video on some crucial B-twist tips. 2 crucial tips that I think everyone should know on their B-twist, but I'm going to have to save that for next week or the week after because my back was acting up a little bit. So I just want to take care of my back a little bit, which actually ties into our topic for this week. Since I just started these weekly videos, it's actually good timing for this topic too, I think, because this is probably one of the most important tips that I have, especially for some of you younger guys. And the things I'm going to talk about in this video, if you think about them day to day while you're actually sessioning, it'll help you in the long run. So what I'm going to talk about today, some of you may have already guessed, is you need to take care of your body. Specifically, you need to do what you can to prevent strain and overuse injuries to your muscles and your ligaments. Some of us, when we first get into tricking, or when we tell people what we do, when we tell people about this sport, they often ask us, oh, have you ever landed on your head? Or do people ever land on their head and break their neck? That's normally what people are thinking about. And obviously that is a concern, but if you train safely, that's not as much of a concern as you would think by any means. The real concern, even if you're training safely, is overuse injuries and strains to your muscles and ligaments, especially in your knees and in your ankles and in your back. The older you get, you're going to need to take recovery very seriously, even literally recovering on a 1-to-1 scale. So if you go and trick for 2 hours, you need to spend at least 2 hours doing recovery type stuff before your next time tricking. That's pretty much at the point where I am right now, where if I don't do that, I will feel my body deteriorating and falling apart. And if I don't do any muscle rolling or anything for like a solid month, let's say, I will experience a muscle pull or an injury, absolutely. When you're a teenager, you can kind of get away with like not conditioning and not stretching, and you might not feel the effects of this. And on the other hand, you might not even really feel the effects when you do stretch and when you do condition, because you kind of recover fast either way. But I promise you, if you keep doing that stuff from an early age, it'll help you prevent accumulation of smaller injuries over time that can be a huge problem for a lot of us in tricking, because tricking is a really high impact sport and it uses a lot of range of motion of all your different muscles throughout your whole body. So it pretty much opens you up to possible strain of any muscle all around your body, especially your hips and like your inner leg muscles and stuff like that. It's really easy to pull those muscles. So there's a bit of a catch-22 within tricking, which is that it takes time to get good at power tricks, but time obviously makes you older and more susceptible to more injuries and stuff like that. The purpose of this whole channel is to give you tips and help you progress faster, but the purpose of this video is essentially to teach you how to age slower, or, like I mentioned before, how to prevent certain training habits that are going to lead to overuse injuries and strains of your muscles and ligaments that eventually hold you back, and it's a really common thing in tricking. Every tricker is probably going to experience some form of strain or muscle-related injury like what I'm talking about. But the real key is, can you bounce back from that injury? Do you know how to heal your body? And are you patient enough to not re-injure yourself trying the same trick on your first session back? You can start tricking at any age, even power tricks. The only difference is how you'll have to treat your body. If you start tricking at 25, you can't treat your body like a teenager does. Or, as you'll find out, your body's going to start to give you warning signs pretty quickly, and it'll probably lead to an injury before you know it. So if you're starting tricking, especially at an older age, you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't have much time, I'm getting older, I need to really learn quickly. But the worst thing you can do is rush your training. No matter what age you are, if you're starting at age 25, I'll admit, yeah, you're at a bit of a disadvantage from if you started when you were like 17 or 14, but even I started at 15, I could have started at age 7, right? No matter what age you're starting at, you need to train safe and you need to have an attitude of building awareness of different body positions and not just racing for certain goals. This video is going to be more geared toward the younger guys, because the older guys, if you start kind of neglecting your stretching and conditioning, you're going to feel it right away. So you probably already know what I'm talking about. Now for you younger guys though, this video is really for you, and I want to inspire you guys to start foam rolling and start really stretching and taking care of your body, because the earlier you start preventing long-term injuries and overuse and strain injuries, the more you can prevent these from actually adding up. So by the time you get like into your mid-20s or whatever, hopefully you won't be feeling different sores and aches all over your body that could have been prevented, and like bits of scar tissue throughout your body that you should have been stretching and massaging out all these years to prevent it from getting worse. In my opinion, one of the best things you can do is foam rolling. And there's 2 foam rollers that you definitely need to own. And I say foam roller in quotations because let me show you the 2 rollers that I think you need to own in your life. So, this one here is clearly a foam roller. This one is hard plastic. It's not foam at all. Let me explain. This one here is for your back and for your spine. I like the ones with the bumps like this. This is not actually really my favorite shape. I like ones that actually have like smaller bumps and a little bit more even of a surface. because then it's kind of less random as you're rolling on it with your spine. You kind of know where the bumps are going to be. But this is what I have, this is what I bought at some point, so this is what I use. It gets the job done. So you should definitely have one of these so you can roll your back on it. This one here is primarily for your legs. So I actually had to kind of work up to one of these. I had like a bit of a softer one at one point, and then I just wasn't feeling the massage on my legs. So I mainly use this on my legs like this. So you'll do the backs of your legs, one leg at a time like this. You'll do all around. You'll do the sides. You'll do all the way in the front. That's right where you'd get shin splints. If you ever have gotten shin splints, that's pain right in the front up here. You can actually more or less prevent that, especially in the early stages, if you foam roll and if you massage that area out. That was my experience with it. I was pretty lucky with shin splints. I didn't have it too bad, but luckily I knew about foam rolling at the time. So as soon as I started feeling it coming on for the first time, I really started massaging that area consistently, like all the time, and then it never came back. So like I said, I had to work up to the hard one. The reason for the hard one, especially for the lower legs, is because our legs do a lot of work in tricking. We jump in a lot of different directions and off one leg and off the other leg, so this is essentially like a deep tissue massage that you can control, where you want to get all the muscles on your legs, your calves, your shins, and then up above your knee you'll do like your quads, your hamstrings, the sides as well, just anywhere where there's like meat. You want to like really roll it, like every inch of it from the top to the bottom, the entire length of the muscle. You'll get to know your body. In fact, everybody, this bone right here sticks out a different amount on different people. For me, the bone sticks out past the muscle, but for some people the muscle sticks out past the bone a little more, so it just affects the kind of angle that you roll your muscle at. But you need to find out what works for your body and start rolling your muscles, especially your legs, after sessions. Even the bottoms of your feet, get like a ball, or even this will work, where it feels like a balance game, but it's actually like rolling out all the muscles on the bottom of your feet. Get used to just massaging every part of your body, because for me that's been one of the best things I started doing, is literally just kind of using these two rollers, this one to help align my back, literally like every morning, twice a day, I'll roll my spine on it, and then this one for helping just massage out all your muscles. Even like with this one, since it's so hard, you don't want to touch any bone with it, but you can even get the side muscles on your back if you lie down on it. You can be creative, but I would highly recommend getting one of these. You can pick this up from the plumbing section of your local hardware store. This is not even like an athletic tool. You can probably get them to cut it for you to like a couple feet, and then you have that. This one you can get them anywhere. You know where to find. So yeah, these are the tools. I would say every tricker needs to get their hands on something of an equivalent of each of these. A hard one for your muscles and for your lower legs, and then a soft one maybe with like bumps on it like this for your spine. Some other ones I have, this is also a hard roller, but it's like on a stick, so if you've never seen one of these before, you can roll your muscles with it this way. It's good. You can throw it in a backpack and just have it at your sessions. It's good to have. There's also like a portable version of this one here, so this one fits in a backpack. I like this one like for my hips. I lie down on it and really roll my hips out and stuff. I can kind of crack my spine with it too, but it's kind of hard to do. And then there's even smaller, more handheld tools. Like this is a gua sha scraper. Literally just like a piece of metal. It has kind of like, this side's more blunt, this side's a little sharper, and you can do the exact same thing. You just kind of massage your muscles. I like to do it over like a piece of fabric. You can also do it with like directly on the skin with some type of like lubricant of some sort. And then there's also one of these too, which my buddy showed me one of these where it's kind of just helps. You can hold it in your hand and then you can just get into different spots and massage yourself rather than using your thumb. It's just like a little tool. So like this was like a few bucks. I bought it online and it just helped. I have it in my backpack. I just kind of massage myself with these tools all the time just to try to keep the soreness away and just to keep myself ready for my next session. But even all this stuff is really just for convenience. The best stuff, what you really need is just these right here. One of each of these to serve the purposes that these serve. I crack my back on this every single day and it's probably saved me from having to go to the chiropractor. I'm sorry if you're a chiropractor. In general, as a tricker, I think you should get used to massaging your muscles and learning how to self-rehab in that way, because when you go for a massage and when you have a professional person give you a massage, the reason they're trained so much on what they do is partially because they don't have like the pain response. If they massage in the wrong way, they need to know what they're doing because they're doing it to another person. If you hurt your arm or something, you should honestly just experiment, like massage in different ways, like start gentle because you don't know what you're doing, but you have that pain response, and that's why it's there. Like, you massaging, you're feeling good pain, and then if you feel bad pain, you know you did something wrong. But you should play around, because massaging yourself, especially through like the types of like soft tissue injuries that we get in tricking, is really helpful. One more thing I want to say before I go, and this relates back to your training habits during your session, and that a lot of time we end up injured, and it's not because we don't know how to train smart, but more so because we get too attached to a certain goal mid-session, within the span of one session. So when you're almost landing something and you really want to land it, and maybe you've even done it before, that's even worse, because then you know you can do it and you just need to prove to yourself that you can still do it. If you've ever been in this situation, this is one of the worst situations you can be in, because first of all, you know you can do it, and yeah, you can do it. You did it last time. For sure you can do it, but you don't need to prove it to yourself. And you shouldn't try to make it happen in one session. In tricking, it's more important to aim for long-term growth rather than to try to hit your landmarks as soon as you can. In tricking and all movement sports, especially looking back, having done it now for almost 13 years, I think it's more important to try to preserve your body and to aim for long-term growth rather than trying to hit those landmark tricks like dub and dub-dub as soon as you can. Especially getting too attached to a goal within one session is one of the worst things you can do. Because let's say during this session you also learned a tip for one of your tricks, and now it's feeling a little better. So you're feeling more power out of that trick, and now you want to try to hit that dub that you've been going for, right? Problem is, when you play with your technique or you change something around, it takes time for these changes to stick. And it takes longer than the span of one session. It's better to focus on the changes that you made to your trick and have them really stick, rather than try to throw your hardest trick out of that touchdown rise that you just made an adjustment to. It's very difficult to think about more than one thing at a time, especially when you're doing a trick and you're in the air. You need to give yourself only one thing to think about, and then everything else has to be within your muscle memory. Don't ever put yourself in a position of trying to get a trick back. Instead, you have to keep pressing forward and aim for greater understanding of the mechanics of whatever trick you're trying to do, and greater knowledge and greater body awareness so you can do the trick consistently every time whenever you want to do it and not have any of it left to chance. So again, trust in the long-term growth over the next few sessions. Don't get too attached to try to land that trick within that one session, because you might put yourself in a position where you'll get an injury from overuse and strain, and you're getting tired. Those are the situations where you really need to listen to your body and even postpone the progress for a couple sessions if you're starting to get tired. You'll definitely thank yourself in the long run if you start to take this sort of attitude to your progress and not worry about whether or not you do anything new every session or not. And instead of marking your progress session by session, think month by month or even every few months. As long as you're slowly getting better, as long as you're slowly learning more things and increasing your understanding, that's a step forward. Even if you lose a few tricks for a while, you'll always get them back as long as you press forward and not just literally try to get them back how they were. Always press forward through to greater understanding. So I think that's everything I had to say for today. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a ramble, but I think this is a really important topic, especially for some of you younger guys, because you're not going to feel the slow injuries that you're going to accumulate in your body until it's maybe almost too late. So it's important to start using your tools, using your stuff like this, take care of your body, and keep your body feeling really good before it gets overwhelming or before it leads to a bigger injury that will put you out of tricking for a few months, because that's definitely no fun. So guys, thanks for watching this video. Next week it's going to be more of a technique-based video and less of a mindset video. Like I said, my back was hurting me a little bit this week, so since I wanted to demonstrate a bunch of things for you guys, I thought it'd be better to postpone it by 1 week. So keep training safe and keep training smart until next week, and I hope to see you guys then.